Firstly, just your impressions of market performance today.
Today we saw a bearish market. Prices were dropping while yields were going up, and this is as a result of the fact that players in the market currently are beginning to have concern over the aggressive nature of CBN using the open market operation to mop up excess liquidity in the system. And as such, long positions that have been taken prior to, have been built in the last week, players have begun to offload those positions. As such, we saw yield inching up. And as of today, for the 20-year, we saw yield closing at 12.02. That of the 5-year closed at 11.07, and that of the 2-year closed at 9.60. As of last week, we saw a market that was bullish, and we saw yields declining while prices were going up. And so the reversal of that is what we have seen this week and today.
Okay, we do know that in its auctions, the CBN has tried to boost supply and as a result curb the heightened dollar demand we've seen in recent weeks. What's that going to do for the currency, do you think?
Well, prior to last week, we saw the Central Bank of Nigeria not meeting demand, and this spilled over into last week. And we saw the Naira depreciating at the WDAX auction and also at the interbank. As at yesterday, the CBN also still did not meet demand. They offered 400 million, and while market had demanded for about 444 million. And CBN only supplied 400, and as such, at the WDAX auction, we saw a depreciation of about 16 kobo. But in the interbank, because of the sale of oil majors, we saw a slight appreciation, and market closed at 152.55 from 152.95 from where market opened. For the Naira stability, CBN needs to increase supply of foreign currency into the market in order for the Naira to be stabilized and strengthened.
Right. I mean, you spoke about the yield trends that we're seeing on government securities. Here's the issue. I mean, with all the restrictions removed and the reforms being introduced, we have been seeing a slight uptick in capital inflows into Nigeria, and that's supposed to really give some kind of support to the currency. Has that trend continued into August? Are we seeing a lot more interest in bonds and securities?
Yes, as of last week in the bond market, we witnessed a bull market, and that could be attributed to the fact that foreign investment has begun to come into the country. When the central bank governor was interviewed after the MPC meeting, he had said that there was record of inflow from foreign investors. And if we continue to see such inflow, on the FX side, Naira will be strengthened because the supply will be met. Then in the bond market, well, what we tend to see, what we'll see for the current week is going to be a sort of reversal, of the previous week, as players begin to put in sentiments as to reflect, the MPC hike.